We've got Brian Daigle in the house. Let's bring on Brian. How are we doing, Brian?
We are doing good, lads. How are you and everyone in the chat?
Yes,
yeah, I
mate.
think we're doing all right, mate. Good to see you as always. We got there in the end, didn't we, tonight? But what were your overall thoughts on what happened tonight?
Listen, it wasn't the greatest of spectacles, was it? And whether that was because we couldn't have a fully fit team out or Burnley came to defend, all that really matters is that score. We won. We're through to the fourth round. I've spoken the whole week about how important this cup is to me personally, and obviously Spurs fans in general. And we've got the job done. That's all that matters. I think the main thing I'm very impressed with today was the back four. I think all deserve a lot of credit.
Yeah. Totally agree, Brian. I think, considering they're four fullbacks playing, and before the last few games they'd never played together before, I think especially Emerson Royal and Ben Davies today really, Emerson Royal particularly actually surprised me. He showed some reading of the game that I hadn't really seen from him before and in that centre-back role, and it's worth giving him credit where it's due.
Listen, we should always give credit where it's due, and I think the worrying thing I heard, I think Ben Davies has pulled a hamstring right at the end of the game and looked in serious problems, which is, let's face it, the last thing we needed. But I think together as a partnership today, listen, Burnley didn't offer a lot, but what they did, they dealt with, and they dealt with admirably. The two fullbacks were magnificent and the best players on the pitch by a country mile. But those defenders definitely stood up tall tonight.
I didn't see that, Ben Davies and the
absolutely
hamstring.
right. I'm just reading it now as of a few minutes ago. And said in his interview that Ben Davies has tweaked his hamstring late on, and he's actually said and actually confirmed that the club can't afford to. The club can still afford to sell Eric Dyer this month, even if Ben Davies is missing with injury. So seems like the plan is still to sell Eric Dyer.
That makes me think that the Dragusin, if it is the Dragusin signing, must be pretty close because you wouldn't be saying that out loud to the press if you didn't have a replacement.
Well, obviously the timing is pretty good with Van de Ven coming back.
Exactly.
So could have been worse. But that is not great news still.
It's not. I mean, we heard it in the commentary here. Basically, right near the end, apparently there's obviously playing all these minutes that got to him, and he was really, really struggling, and they couldn't make another substitute. So they had to keep him on the pitch, and that's why Højbjerg was in that position to make that block for the corner right at the end. And if you saw, he was talking to the referee just before that corner came in at the very death, trying to do something or say something. But it's a concern because Ben Davies has stood up in the absence of Van de Ven and done it remarkably well, I feel. I think he's getting a lot of discredit, and he deserves a lot more credit than due. That he's been getting. And I think the defence were, like we were just saying, Barnaby, I think today the defence were magnificent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they completely won us the game. They got the clean sheet, and Porro provided that moment of magic, didn't he? And we've been singing his praises for the whole season, Pedro Porro. I think that's his first goal of the season. I think he's got 7 assists, but he's got so much quality, doesn't he? Do you feel like he gets the credit? Maybe from Spurs fans he does. Do you think maybe from the wider community, football community, that is, he maybe deserves a bit more credit?
Well, Simeon, you'll remember when we were at the supporters trust process on the Man U game, when you read out the team sheet and said Porro was there, I dropped to my knees and went, "Oh my God, we're going to lose. Porro can't defend." I think he's been superb since that game. I think he's our most improved player. I got that wrong. I'm delighted to have got that wrong. And I tell you what, that strike, it was one of those strikes, and when you see it the side netting, and from the angle you saw from the camera, it was just a pile driver, wasn't it? It was just a thing of beauty. And what a thunderbolt it was. It was an incredible shot. And let's face it, there wasn't many magical things in the game. That would top the bill in any game. That was a sensational goal.
I really hope that is kind of shown in training next week, and I'm saying maybe guys have a few more shots from outside the box, because we're not getting any kind of deflected goals or anything like we used to get a lot from Harry Kane, scoring not only obviously his worldies from outside the box, but he'd take shots and get quite a lot of deflections, and we're not really taking enough shots. So fair play to Pedro Porro. He took the bull by the horns. I'm pleased he did.
Well, Barry, I'll wrap with that. I mean, I really thought, talking the shots, I thought Brennan Johnson, the word that someone used here, I think it's so right, I think he's timid at the moment. He took that shot in the first half from outside the area, as we're just talking long shots. There's a great shot. Goalkeeper made a great save. And I thought, you know what, maybe that's it. Now he's going to start feeling a bit more confident. Then he had that volley in the second half. But there were a couple of times on the wing where he just tried to do a couple of things, like when he backheeled it behind him. I think he's just lacking that little bit of confidence or self-doubt in himself. Yeah. And it's affecting him. But we definitely, I think you're right, Barnaby. We spend a lot of this time playing beautiful football. And it's reminding me a bit, not exactly the style, but with Arsene Wenger, when they had to try and score the perfect goal, and it was the beautiful, intricate pot and the lack of long-range shooting. We've got players that can ping the ball. I think it's something we do need to add to our game.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. We did get some. We saw one Ryan Sessegnon back in the fold tonight, which was a bit of a surprise, and he came on, had a 10-minute run out near the end of the game. Good to have him back. And how do you feel like he got on?
I believe in miracles. Sorry, we're going to win the FA Cup. Inspired. Sessegnon's on the pitch and on the pitch to the game.
Sorry, Brian. You're breaking up a bit. You're just. I think it's all right. Now. Maybe try again.
It's all right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good to see him on. He caused a little bit of danger when he first came on, and let's just hope he can stay fit. I mean, Simeon, we were talking about it today, weren't we? About Man U probably wanting him on loan, whether that was rubbish or not, but at least we got to see him on the pitch.
Yeah, 100%.
That would be so bizarre if they sent back Reguilon and took Sessegnon. That wouldn't make any sense. I should say, just because I've given him a bit of stick about the bad passing when he came on tonight. Højbjerg did make that great block at the end. I should reference that because that was vital, because that would have been exactly the same as that Alex Scott goal against Bournemouth. So fair play to him. He puts his body on the line, but there was some mad decision making again from him tonight. But like you said at the beginning, Brian, and you and I feel like we're of a similar vintage. It's about getting through, it's about being in the draw, and it's about the possibility of that FA Cup being covered in blue and white ribbons and going down the Tottenham High Road. How much do you think we have a shot at it genuinely this season?
I generally, since the passing of Terry Venable, like how Spurs have said when the year ends in one. Yeah, I literally think the year that Terry Venable sadly passes away, the last manager to win it for us, this is the year we do it. I am literally convinced. I was dreading having a replay. It's the last thing we needed going up to Turf Moor just after Manchester United. We haven't got that now, and the most important big thing, like you've just said as well as me, Barnaby, is getting in that hat for the next round, and we're there. Doesn't matter how we got there, we're there.
Yeah, that would definitely be poetic if we could do it in the year Terry sadly passed away.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Brian, lovely to see you as always, mate. Good to chat.
Always pleasure.
I'll speak to you very, very soon, Brian.
Have a big night.
Have a good weekend. And yourself, guys. Have a great one. See you later.